You're 20 years old. You step into the ring wearing nothing but black trunks, black shoes with no socks, and a white towel draped around your neck. No robe, no theatrics, just you and the violence you're about to unleash. They call you Kid Dynamite, and in 91 seconds, you're going to prove why. But this didn't start in a Las Vegas spotlight. It started at 4 a.m. in darkness. The alarm doesn't ring. You don't need it anymore. Your body wakes itself at exactly 4 in the morning, 6 days a week. While the world sleeps, you're already stretching in the cold gym air. 10 interval sprints, 10 box jumps, then you're out the door, running 5 miles through empty streets. Your legs burn, your lungs scream. You don't care. This is where champions are actually built, in the hours nobody sees. By the time most people are hitting snooze, you've already logged your first workout. But you're not done. Not even close. 2,000 sit-ups, 500 dips, 500 push-ups, 500 shrugs with a 30-kilogram barbell, 2,000 air squats, 10 minutes of neck bridges on a folded towel, building the iron column that'll keep you conscious when lesser men would crumble. Your neck is a weapon. Every muscle in your body is a weapon. You're not training to win. You're training to destroy. 8 to 10 hours a day, every single day. Your friends are at parties. You're doing your 500th rep. Other fighters train hard. You train like your life depends on it. Because in the ring, it does. The first time Custa Mato watched you spar at 13, he said something that changed everything. That is the future heavyweight champion of the world. He took you into his home in upstate New York and rebuilt you from the ground up. Boxing became your obsession, your religion, the only thing that mattered. Cus taught you something other fighters didn't understand. The peekaboo style. You hold your gloves high, tight to your cheeks, arms pressed against your torso. It looks defensive. It looks protective. It's actually a loaded spring waiting to explode. You bob. You weave. You slip punches by millimeters, reading your opponent's body before they even know they're throwing. Side-to-side head movement so fluid it looks choreographed. But here's what they don't see coming. When you duck under their jab, you're not retreating. You're coiling your legs like a compressed piston. You're closing distance. You're cutting off their escape routes. You're getting into the killing zone. Then you unload. Your right hook travels maybe 10 inches. That's it. No windup, no telegraphing. Your back foot plants transferring every ounce of torque from your legs through your core and into your fist. The punch doesn't look powerful, it looks short, compact, almost casual. The impact registers in megatons. Your opponent's brain rattles inside their skull before they realize they've been hit. Body shot, right hook, uppercut to the chin. Lorenzo Boyd went down from this combination. So did Jesse Ferguson. So did Jose Rebelta. The pattern is simple, the execution is devastating. Standing at 5'10", you're shorter than almost every heavyweight you face. They think it's an advantage for them. They're wrong. Your lower center of gravity gives you balance they can't match. You move in and out of range faster than they can process. Your thick neck, broad shoulders, and powerful legs generate force that physics shouldn't allow. You weigh between 215 and 240 pounds of pure explosive power. Your hands move faster than fighters in lighter divisions. 4 to 6 punch combinations blur together. Uppercuts, hooks, body shots, all landing before your opponent's neurons can fire a defensive response. Perfect technique multiplied by perfect timing, multiplied by relentless pressure. But the physical training is only half the weapon. The real destruction starts before you ever throw a punch. When you walk to the ring silent and focused, something primal happens. Opponents see you and their bodies betray them. Their shoulders tense, their breathing changes. They're trying to look confident, but you can see the fear creeping into their eyes. You've already beaten them. Michael Spinks was undefeated, a legitimate champion. They had to drag him out of his dressing room because he didn't want to face you. You knocked him out in 91 seconds. Larry Holmes was supposed to be different, a legend. 38 years old, but still dangerous. January 22nd, 1988. 4th round knockout. Holmes had never been knocked out in 51 fights. You added that to your collection like it was nothing. November 22nd, 1986. The night that made you the youngest heavyweight champion in history. 20 years and 145 days old. Trevor Berbick stood across from you, holding the WBC belt. He was 33, experienced, confident. You walked to the ring wearing black trunks, black shoes with no socks, a white towel around your neck. No robe, no entrance music. Just silent, predatory focus. You paced the ring like a caged animal waiting to be released. The first round, Berbick moved in slow motion. Like he was fighting underwater, his punches came from miles away. You could see them developing before his muscles even contracted. Early in the second round, you unleashed a left hook that sent him crashing to the canvas. He got up. You hit him again. His legs betrayed him. They buckled and twisted like broken machinery. He tried to stand, fell, tried again, fell again. The referee stopped counting and waved it off. I wanted to throw every punch with bad intentions. Those were your words after the fight. Hydrogen bombs. That's what you called them. The belt was yours. But Cuss wasn't there to see it. He'd died a year earlier, 1 year before his prediction came true. You thought about him standing in that ring. The man who saw a 13-year-old kid and knew he was looking at a future champion. The youngest ever. But you weren't done collecting. March 7th, 1987, James Bone Crusher Smith. You added the WBA title with a unanimous decision. August 1st, 1987, Tony Tucker. Another unanimous decision gave you the IBF belt. You became the first heavyweight to hold all three major belts simultaneously, the undisputed champion. 20 years old running the entire division. Your record stood at 22-0 with 18 knockouts. But the world still had questions. Who was the real champion? Ring Magazine didn't recognize you as the lineal champ. They still considered someone else the man to beat. Michael Spinks held that unofficial crown. Undefeated. Light heavyweight moving up. A legitimate threat on paper. June 27th, 1988. The richest fight in boxing history at that time. This was your chance to silence every doubt. They couldn't get Spinks out of his dressing room. His team struggled to move him toward the ring. He'd seen you fight. He'd watched the tapes. He knew what was coming. Fear had already done half your work. The opening bell rang. You moved forward. Spinks tried to establish distance, tried to use his jab. You slipped it, closed the gap, and detonated. 91 seconds. That's all it took. Spinks hit the canvas and the fight was over. He never fought again, never stepped in a ring after that night. You had destroyed the lineal champion in less than 2 minutes. There were no more questions, no more debates. You were the undisputed, unquestioned, most feared heavyweight on the planet. From 13 years old to undisputed champion at 20. 7 years of obsession. 7 years of 4 a.m. runs and 2,000 sit-ups and 500 push-ups, and 10 hours in the gym every single day. 7 years of Cuss rebuilding your mind and body into a weapon designed for one purpose. Domination. 41 wins, 1 loss, 36 knockouts. Opponents dropped before they understood what hit them. Referees stopped fights in the first round because grown men couldn't handle the pressure. Champions retired rather than face you again. You didn't just beat fighters, you broke them, mentally, physically, spiritually. They walked into the ring already defeated because your reputation arrived before your fists did. Black trunks, no socks, dead eyes staring through your opponent's soul. The walk to the ring was a death march for the man waiting for you. That's what prime Mike Tyson was. Not just a fighter, a force of nature, an inevitability, the baddest man on the planet, and everyone knew it the second you stepped into view. That's the level you reached. That's the throne you built. And for those few years, nobody could touch you. The question was never whether you'd win. The question was how long they'd last. That's what separated you from everyone else who ever laced up gloves. You didn't fight opponents. You erased them. You took everything Coos taught you, every 4 a.m. run, every rep nobody saw, and turned it into pure devastation. For those few years at the top, you weren't just the champion. You were the nightmare every fighter saw when they closed their eyes.